How can grassroots activism influence the environmental policies and the companies and institutions that decide them?
I think one thing is first the information, and because the area where the developments are happening is around this grassroots communities. So it's really working towards, one, raising their voices at the grassroots level, creating numbers of the commons, and using that to push the political class at the national level. It's not always easy, but also it's mainly using their grassroots connections and the platforms to link it to national and international spaces, especially where the investors and the companies are coming from.
One field which is not very often taken into consideration is the opinion of the local populations in this case. How was your experience with that?
The same thing happened with us, that the local communities were not seen as part of the conversation, and so the decisions were made in Nairobi and at the international level. And so communities then realized that because they were not part of the first discussion, then they raised up and asked the questions around public participation and looking at the indigenous people's decisions around this, so the free, prior, informed consent. And so that was happening with us, and we realized that we needed to find the numbers and the people to come together and really be able to say, why are you doing this in our land, yet we are not part of it? So it happens across the world where the local populations are never considered as part of the discussion, and usually yet the impacts are actually on them.
What is your advice to young people that want to change the way that the environmental policies are taken right now?
I think one, it's research. That's the one thing. Working with researchers to appreciate what are the issues, but also secondly, it's understanding these policies and looking at it from not only a current level, because a lot of these policies are very archaic, they're very old policies based on a certain status quo, and so working towards that and questioning and participating in the processes. So if it's an election, if it is a referendum, anything that's out there, they need to be aware, they need to be informed, and they need to participate and create dialogues where they debate among themselves, but also debate with the political class.
In your lecture yesterday you talked about altered oceans. The question is it too late to save the oceans, and what can be done?
Yeah. No, I don't think it's too late, but we need to start treating the oceans a bit better than we have been. What's been happening for a long time is we've been putting too many boats on the water, too many fishing boats, and our fish catch has been going down. We're dumping too many types of pollution in the ocean, everything from sewage to farm runoff to plastic debris, and that has a collective toll over time. And so at some point we need to start treating the oceans better, and then scientists tell me they have a great ability to heal themselves. We just need to give them time to do that. At the oceans, we've been treating both as sort of a food locker, essentially a refrigerator for the food we want to eat, all the seafood we want to eat. At the same time, we treat it like a communal sewer, and that doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. So there are all sorts of things that are being proposed that we do. One of the things that I find most encouraging is that we've borrowed an idea that we have on land, and that is setting aside certain areas as protected areas, as undersea parks and wilderness areas. And that's starting to really proliferate around the planet. So we're getting these very big marine protected areas, and they're starting to happen all over the place. These are the kinds of things that I think can really help protect marine life and also ultimately the ability of the ocean to take care of ourselves.